to the pop culture cosmos.
And there's always an echo at the beginning. And we're back with another episode of the Pop Culture Cosmos. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here for the Pop Culture Cosmos. Inside Sports Fantasy Football, the Lakers Fast Break, and Game Source. Truly appreciate you watching all of our great shows. And make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe. Subscribe today to get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air this year with the Pop Culture Cosmos, PC Multiverse, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, or the State of Pro Wrestling right here at the Pop Culture Cosmos. We truly appreciate all your support. And this year, we'll be getting closer to a magical number. And I'll talk about this here in just a sec with my good friend, Indeed. But it wouldn't be a Pop Culture Cosmos without my good friend. It is, of course, the mastermind behind Humanica Media. Of course, all the stuff he does out there in the world of esports, collecting and collectibles with the Happy Hoarder as well. It is my good friend of many, many years now, past 10 years, almost 10 years doing this show. It is Josh the Great Peterson. What's up, man?
What is up? I'm just a tired boy. I'm exhausted, man. Holidays were exhausting this year, but we made it
Wow.
through. We're getting through it. We're about to kickstart into the spring here, so I'm good. I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm doing okay. One of the girls going back to school tomorrow, so looking forward to seeing what she can do to close out her senior year in high school. For
Ooh.
me, because the time goes all too fast, because she'll be turning 18 here in a matter of days, which just freaking me out as my youngest. But I will just say this: I'm getting anticipated, man. The anticipation is growing. I believe this is either number 29 or 30 CESs I'll be going to this year, my friend.
Dang, man. Hey, so speaking of CES, you know what? I went to Sam's Club the other day. And I was like, you know what? I remember Gerald talking about this, what do you call it? These 100-inch televisions. I've never seen one before. Lo and behold, walking to Sam's Club, it's right there. It's a 100-inch television. Absolutely insane.
Absolutely. The largest I think saw last year was 120. Don't quote me on that. I reported whatever it was at this time last year, what it was, but I think it was 120, a little bit maybe larger than that. But the hundreds are the highest I've seen that's out there in retail form as far as easily gettable. I know Costco's been selling a 100-incher, actually 99.5 inches diagonal when you say, but they round out to 100 to make the catch, 100 in there. But yeah, they've been selling it for about a year now, or a little over that. As far as the 100-incher is concerned, you can get it right now about $1,800, which is not too bad for, again, like that, like I said before. But yeah, uh, can't wait to see what's going to be happening. I know AI this, AI that. Already got an abundance of emails. That's the worst thing, Josh, about CES for me, is that my inbox and my email as a member of the press, or as I go as just a regular individual, it gets inundated with a ton of emails from all these different companies from around the world that are going to gather at CES, wanting me to come to see their product, and all of them have to have AI in their format. AI, 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 AI.
Oh, yeah. Is that the big thing now everyone's talking about?
It's been for a couple years now, my friend. AI. AI is the wave of
No,
the future,
yeah.
Gerald. Hop
You know,
on board.
I realized that I just didn't know that it had crawled into the home theater.
Oh, it's everywhere. It's on every imaginable product. The AI blender, the AI refrigerator, the AI toilet, the smart toilet. I've seen that. I've seen that have AI as far as when you go poop and whatnot. So yes, I'm riding the wave, man. I'm riding the wave of AI, and I'll be riding it this week at the Consumer Electronics Show.
Dang.
That's right. Dang indeed, my friend. So we'll see what happens. I'm hopeful I could go ahead and report on the Friday show and bring it to you. I know that TJ Johnson and I had some scheduling issues for this past week, so I'm hopeful that he can also let us know what his best and worst of for 2025, and I'll be able to correlate to you guys what I saw and what I experienced this year at CES. I do have a couple of appointments, uh, but I'm usually keeping my schedule open. I used to schedule a ton of interviews. I remember I did that in previous years, as far as it concerns, a ton of interviews, a ton of appointments. But I just felt like going and just experiencing it is a better way to go through for the most part. So we'll see what happens this week at the Consumer Electronics Show. But yes, if you're going to be watching any reports out there, expect AI this and AI that, Josh.
Man, I was kind of thinking that we were going to end up in a world one day where AI is running everything, because everyone's using AI just to run every aspect of their businesses now. I mean, apparently it's working, because like look at YouTube's getting ready to lay off, a good portion of their staff because they want to automate everything. So it'll be interesting to see where we end up in the next few years here.
And the price of RAM, which is directly tied into the advance of AI, the price of memory for just simple operating things, whether it's for electronics, whether it's for appliances, whether it's for computers, that has been skyrocketing in recent weeks and months because of the advent and growth of AI. And Asus is rumored to announce price increases, making the Rogue LIX even more expensive, most likely in the coming days or weeks and months to come.
That's crazy. Why would you do that? Come on.
I don't. Again, it just. Well, they sold very strongly on the X. The lower model, no, I know that they can't give that away, but seemingly from what I read and hear. But the X model seems to be very attractive, and I still want one. But I'm not going to pay now, $1,000, $1,100, $1,200 for it if it price increase indeed. So we'll see what happens.
You're acting like that's a lot of money or something. I don't understand what's going on here.
How selfish of me. I'm just so sorry, my friend. I forgive me. I
Yeah,
apologize.
we have all of these really poor executives out in the world that can barely feed themselves. All right, you need to think more about other people sometimes. All right.
Oh, gosh, dang it, man. So selfish of me indeed. But yes, I will be experiencing the Consumer Electronics Show. I hope Asus is there so I can go ahead and talk to them and ask what is going on with their future, and also go ahead and check out for the gaming space, entertainment space, and more. So hopefully I will have a report for you at the end of this week for the Friday show on the PC Multiverse as well. And then don't forget as well, next week, Josh and I will have our most anticipated TV, video games, movies of 2026. And hopefully TJ Johnson on the back end in about a week or two will be able to go ahead and express his most anticipated as well. But a great show we have lined up for you today, because we'll be talking about the first weekend of box office. What happened with Avatar Fire and Ash?
Ooh,
Are there any pardon?
I said I saw it, man. I saw it.
Yep. And also as well, wanted to go ahead and mention that we'll be talking about some holdovers that are doing well. So we'll talk about that. And Stranger Things popped a big number in theaters in its limited run as well. So we'll be talking about that. And then I will have my best and worst of pop culture for the year 2025. Oh boy, it's a doozy list, especially on the best of. So we'll be talking about that. And I will have a rant when it comes to the worst of pop culture in 2025 as well. So looking forward to that. And if we have time, the latest on the MCU review as well. But first at the box office, my friend, this past weekend, the first weekend of 2026, and Avatar Fire and Ash is still on top. Did okay, not too bad. A good holdover. So I want to go ahead and ask your thoughts on this, my friend. When it comes right down to it, Avatar Fire and Ash looks like they gained a really good foothold in the airspace with, I think, another 14, 15 million at the box office. They are now officially over the $1 billion mark. And with that, my friend, a lot of, I guess, sighs of relief from Disney executives all around. My friend, your thoughts on Avatar officially making the $1 billion mark at the box office worldwide?
I mean, it had quite a set of legs on it. Not not the kind of legs that the first two had, I guess, but it had legs on it where it was gaining momentum more than most movies that we've seen come out this year. So I mean,
Yeah.
I you could tell from the get go that it was going to cross $1 billion. How far or how close it gets to the other two, I don't think it's going to get as
No,
much as the other two did. I mean, that's
no,
just my way of thinking right now. I
not
saw
even close. Not even close.
Yeah, I saw it and it is nowhere near as good. I mean, one was probably the best, two is okay. Three is basically like a rehash of two, like even down to the some of the fight scenes feel like they take place in the same spots. The only thing that's really different about this is the introduction of like the fire tribe or whatever, and they throw in some just have some caution if you're taking your kids. They throw in some adult. It's not shown, but it's implied a lot of more like adult themes to it. So,
Oh yeah, I noticed your post.
Disney, Disney made some bold moves here, but the movie really was not like I didn't walk out of it being like, oh man, that this is a game changer. It was a movie, and I'm in retrospect, it didn't need to happen. Like it's one of those where like you could have just had the first two and been like, okay, I'm gonna leave well enough alone. But to think that we still have two more of these movies and there's no like sign of where this is going, like is the final step gonna be an all-out war with Earth? Are we gonna see like avatars and or the Navi go into space? Is this going to turn into some sort of like Halo, or like what are we doing here, James? What's the end game, Mr. Cameron? Tell us.
Well, that's one thing I wanted to ask you. Was the first thing was, is there, after watching it, do you think there's a future for this series to go a number 4 and a 5? Because he's in recent days, weeks, in interviews said that he wants to, it's still there if Disney wants to do it, and he'll be part of it, but I don't know if he'll direct it, how much hands-on, because there are other things he wants to do with his time as well, Josh.
At this point, I don't think it matters because I think they're going to make something. If the script's already written and this crossed $1 billion, they're going to keep making them. And I think it's going to be up to the audience to decide whether or not it needs to keep going. I mean, clearly with this one, they've decided, yeah, it should keep going. But after this one is done, I think the audience, how much money the audience decide to give to these films is going to be the real deciding factor about what kind of momentum this franchise has left here.
So let me ask you this. Hopefully, you're going to stay with us here because I know your feed is going a little bit in and out here, but you're still holding with us. Cool. Um, I still got to catch up with the second and third one. I've seen the first one, and I wasn't really impressed. Outside of Stephen Lang's performance, there's nothing of note that I remember the first one for. And I know that he is still around in the second and third, so I'm going to have to catch up with that at some point in time. But again, the cultural footprint, people see it, and then it goes out of their minds right after. So I don't think there's anything from what we're seeing now that's going to change differently about Avatar. It's like, okay, it's an appointment viewing. Disney knows that they want, if they want to go ahead and put something out there that's going to make $1 billion, Avatar's the deal. I think though that what James Cameron is leaning into is the fact that he's going to be less hands-on in the future if they make a fourth or a fifth.
Yeah, I had heard that he had some projects you don't work on. I know he wanted to do a
He's talking
Terminator.
about Terminator, yeah.
Yeah, Terminator. He's toying with the idea of going back to the Alien universe. So, actually, I was reading an interview with what was it Freddy Alvarez, right? Was that the guy that directed the new Predator movie? I guess he.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's his name. But he went down to have dinner with James Cameron one night, and James Cameron was telling him that like, he looked at the script originally earlier that day and was like, I don't think this is going to work. And then he met up with him for dinner and said, you know what, I think this is going to work. So I think James Cameron, it has plans eventually to re-enter that universe, but we'll see. We'll see. I think he's probably realizing that his age, and he's like, oh, maybe I should work on something else besides Avatar, kind of leave my mark on the world before I get too old, kind of like Ridley Scott. So I don't know, man. I mean, if I were him, I'd want out. I would want to put it in the hands of somebody else and go explore greener pastures for a while.
Yeah, it is Fade Alvarez. You were correct on that. I think Noah Hawley is also very invested in this IP as well. So, yeah, I just can tell the man is in the 70s, I believe. So he wants to do different things while he has time and the ability to do so. So I can understand that. It's up to Disney as well if they want to greenlight a fourth movie in the or fifth. But my guess is that they'll do a filming back to back of the fourth and fifth one and then finish it off at 5 because like we're seeing now this will probably end up around 1.3 to 1.5 billion dollars,
Yeah.
which is a steep drop off from the previous 2 avatars. But, and this is big but, there's such a still great overseas appetite for the Avatar films. I think you could still, even at the fourth and the fifth, and like JSJ is saying in the comments about how they like you said, Josh, they stuck to their guns and just stayed to a formula and stuck to it. Even if they stick to that formula 2 more times, they will still get 800-900 billion dollars for the next 2 films, regardless.
Yeah, I mean, and absolutely, yeah, people are still gonna go see it. It's just it's
I
gonna
mean,
be
look at the rise of Skywalker.
yeah,
Which you forgot seeing,
it's
in our famous commercial. That still made $1 billion.
yeah, yeah. The most memorable $1 billion movie ever. But it well, I mean, at this point though, would people be going I'd be curious to see like a survey. Like, are people going to see will people go see the next one because they're tied to the story? Or are they going to go see it because it's there? It's I wouldn't call it a pop culture movement, but it's just a movie that it's FOMO, right? You're gonna miss out on everybody talking about it.
Absolutely. So we'll wait and see. As I told JSJ, I'm gonna have to catch up with the second and third. I have been avoiding it like the plague. Maybe it's because I still have that trauma from sitting at the when I went to Disney World and had to wait in line for the Avatar ride for 3
Yeah.
hours, and I, got inundated with Avatar, Avatar, Avatar in my ears and just Avatar overload, and yeah, just been traumatized ever since. But I will have to catch up one of these days with Avatar number 2 and 3, and we'll have to go ahead and check that out there. But if you have thoughts out there on Avatar Fire and Ash, like JSJ in the comments, he says, I will still watch the sequels because it's James Cameron and I already watched the previous 3 films. Yeah, like he's already
See,
gonna
that's
it's
it
like
though. That's it. You're committed to it at this point. You're going to
exactly.
do it because you need both closure and you want to talk about it, and that's
I can see JSJ going to theaters, Josh. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I can see JSJ walking through. Yeah, all right. Check it out again.
I guess I'll go see this.
So if you have thoughts on Avatar Fire and Ash, let us know. Popculturecosmos at yahoo.com. But before we head to the break, my friend, I wanted to ask you your thoughts. The Housemaid is really holding well, and Zootopia 2 is holding well. Now, mind you, they're not earth-shattering numbers by any stretch of the imagination, my friend, but The Housemaid is actually, I think, was up like 2-3% this weekend. Actually, it was down 3%, only down 3% from the previous weekend, and Zootopia 2 is only down 4% from the previous weekend, which from the Christmas Day box office is an amazing number, as The Housemaid is looking more like a film that's going to do over $100 million. Zootopia 2 looks like a film that's has a chance
That's
with some help to 2 billion. Might I'm gonna probably say no now, but I'm not putting it out of realm for 2 billion on Zootopia 2.
Okay, so refresh my memory. Okay, and this is a weird time of year, right? Because you have all these all the websites just switched over to 2026's box office board, so you can't see it. You have to like search out what the other movies are currently doing. But The Housemaid is the one with
Paul Feig, by the way, Paul Feig,
Sydney
director.
Sweeney's movie,
Yes.
right? She was in that. Okay, I
Yes.
just want to make
Finally
sure.
got a hit from 2025, but she had a rough year financially at the box office. Her movies did, but this movie looks to be something that is going to do well. Well, it's actually going over $100 million worldwide by the end of next week, and could go over $100 million domestically here within the next couple of weeks as well. So, again, that is a big success because this isn't the biggest budgeted film, this thriller out there. So and the fact that it only lost to just under 3% of its audience from one week to the next is really good. And Zootopia 2, it's at 1.6 billion dollars right now. I think it has an outside chance, but I'm not counting. I'm going to say right now it's going to finish in the 1/8 somewhere as far as it's there. But truly a big success as the biggest animated movie of all time, I think. From what I'm seeing, I think it is the biggest animated movie of all time.
It's crazy.
Outside of Nesha 2. I'm sorry, outside of Nesha 2. It's the biggest Disney animated film of all time.
How did the other Zootopia do? Did it cross $1 billion?
That I will check as far as Utopia is for you. Are we going to talk? JSJ says we're going to talk Doomsday. Probably we'll talk about that more next week because that's what we're going to be talking about as far as the most anticipated of this year. So definitely we'll be talking about that. Today is probably not going to see too much of conversation on that, JSJ. But Zootopia at the box office. Let me go ahead and get that for you right now here, coming up here at box office. Gross on that. Zootopia, that was approximately 1.46 billion.
Oh,
Oh, no,
nice.
that's Zootopia 2. I'm sorry, that's Zootopia 2. Right there. Let me go ahead and look it up. One more thing right here for you. So Zootopia. There you go. All right, there we go. So we look inside Zootopia on Wikipedia. That one made just over $1 billion. Yes, just
Okay.
over.
All right. Yeah. No, I mean not anywhere near what this one's doing though. Like this is we will see a third one.
JSJ says they'll watch it just because they'll go back because of the Doomsday trailers. Because as we know, the third one was the X-Men. We haven't heard about the fourth one yet. I don't know if it's leaked out or whatnot, and I could check on that. But the third one is on the X-Men, which will be shown in detail to the rest of the world here on Tuesday. I think is when they release their trailers. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, Avengers Doomsday, people might be getting excited for Avengers Doomsday coming up later this year. And again, we will cover all the stuff that we're looking forward to coming up on next week's show. We're going to dedicate the whole hour to it if we can. So definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, I did want to make mention Zootopia 2 and The Housemaid doing really well at the box office, Josh. And again, those two movies look like they are big Christmas Day winners. And also, over the holidays, in the special showing, Stranger Things looks like it made around $25 to $28 million in its short 2-day run at the theaters as well, my friend.
Dang.
That last episode of season 5, which have you caught up with Stranger Things?
I am. I was scared to ask you. Did you see it?
Oh yes, so we can go into it. All right, good. I will say it's 2 hours. Yeah, absolutely. Every bit of the 2 hours, and I'll leave it at that. It wasn't terrible, but just like the whole season, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't overwhelmingly great by that standpoint. I think for everybody out there who's been really invested in Stranger Things, they got a lot of emotional send-offs and goodbyes, but spoilers here. I'm just going to put some light spoilers out there. Everybody survived except for the individual that you did not care for, which you talked about last week.
Okay, so yeah,
Funny how that happens.
yeah, no, yeah, and that's still like it's all this like misdirection. Like, oh, let's put this like, oh, maybe it was all just an illusion, and then that way people are like, oh, we're gonna make everyone really like this character. It doesn't detract from how annoying she was through the entire show, you know. But I will say like, and I kind of sounded off on this a little bit, but then like I guess the rest of the internet sort of like picked up on it too. The fact that Linda Hamilton's character was the most useless character in any show ever. Like what they made her this like big baddie, and like I wanted to see what happened to her. How is it possible that after all that, the military just picks up and is like, all right, see you later. You can all just go about their lives. It would never happen like that. I mean, and maybe I'm just jaded by, what happens in reality, but like I feel like we were cheated. I don't think that it would happen like that. What do you
I
think,
can't
though?
agree. I agree with you. Like Linda Hamilton was a character. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. She was barely in it. That's right. And the ending for a second, she just last shot of her was just standing there looking, and there you go. That's it.
Hmm.
No more.
Yeah.
Military's
Yeah.
gone. All those
Yeah.
dead bodies that the military, what happened to them? So that got killed. Nothing. No, no, that's
Gosh,
just
man, I know. Like, what's the deal here?
yeah. I mean, and then all the individuals that were involved in the Stranger Things crew that killed soldiers,
Yeah,
no trial, no nothing.
yeah.
Yeah,
How none of this none of this makes sense to me.
yeah, I guess not. Yeah. All right. I guess it makes sense. Like the upside down makes sense. And then the mind flare. Okay. After all that, he became a rock spider.
Yeah, yeah, and they still never explain that. Like they had that part where he's like, "Me and the mind flayer, I need it and it needs me. We are one." So when did that happen? How did that happen? What is what? You
So
know,
that
like
big powerful force that you don't mention for quite a spell until you briefly mention him near the end, as the powerful force that feeds Vecna. It's supposed to be more powerful than Vecna.
yeah.
Just turns into a rock spider, and yep, all she
And
wrote.
you're just like kind of chilling inside of it. Like I don't know what.
Uh,
Where did any
that's
of this
all.
come from?
Yep, and just that's it. That's it. Again, I don't have the same anger. I mean, people can look back in our archives to check out Josh and my thoughts on the ending of Game of Thrones, where there was real vitriol put out there. But I just felt this entire season was just eh. It was just a I don't have a true investment in Stranger Things. I thought it was okay. I like the nods to 80s. Sometimes they didn't get it right because I lived through the 80s and I realized, hey, that wasn't exactly at that time. You're trying to put that. Okay, okay, you didn't get exact. Okay, I get it. But the nods to the 80s I actually kind of liked over the course of time. And the story, again, how the upside down went from this strange mystical place early on to now it's just like, okay, let's just go the upside down, just like you and I would go to Taco Bell or something like that. So I don't
Yeah.
know, it just became to me. So I watched a whole season of wasn't bad, wasn't good. The special effects could have been better with all the money that Netflix gave them. Could have been a lot better, but
Mm.
overall, I just thought it was. JSJ says it. Were the actors burned out? I think that's a possibility. That's the case as well. Everybody might have been burned out by working on it so long.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I think the Duffer brothers were definitely ready to move on.
Yeah, and I think all the actors were as well. I just, give me my paycheck and I'm gonna go. And again, it just felt like a high school, like the ending of a high school, like the show. It
Oh
was
my
the ending of their high school run finally after 19,000 years. Excuse me. But it just felt like, like when you say goodbye to your high school friends, knowing that you're going to go in different directions throughout the season 5. It just felt like every time those emotional moments, it just felt like they were saying bye to each other on a personal level, and hopefully it would resonate with an audience. But again, to me, it was just a lot of it, some of it was corny, some of it was not as well written as I was hoping to be. And again, the mind flare, who was supposed to be this big, huge, powerful entity that's powering Vecna to be the evil thing that he is, just a rock spider. That's
And
it.
then they have this like lame cop out where they're like, oh, all the mysterious questions you have about what happened in the end of the season will be answered in our Nancy Wheeler spinoff, because that's exactly what we all wanted to see. A Nancy Wheeler spinoff, and there's like another spinoff talking about like what's in the box, as Brad Pitt famously said in the movie Seven. Like, what? Just end it. Just end it. Tell us, like, if you want to do another spinoff, that's fine, but don't make us like frog hop to another series to find out what happened in the first series.
Yep, that's true, my friend. Again, I give it on the scale of 1 to 10 the entire season, 6.5. What do you think it was for you?
I mean, I'd give it a 7. I didn't like it. It was not good. It was not bad. It was just kind of like a meh kind of thing. It happened.
There you go. Again, it happened, and they're obviously got a lot of money for it at the box office because people went to the theaters to catch the final episode in theaters, the last 2 hour final episode,
Yeah,
and then
our
the
show
whole.
sold out here. Like, that was surprising.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also, of course, it made got a ton of ratings, as far as millions, tens of millions of viewers on Netflix. So yeah, it looks like it closed out well enough, and a lot of people were okay on it. Do you like Eleven's ending? Last but not least, before we head to the break, my friend.
I didn't have any feelings. I was numb to it, I guess, at that point. Like, I had never found 11 that fascinating. Like, her story's interesting, but by the time this last season rolled around, I stopped being interested in her character. I was more interested in seeing like, oh, what was the aftermath of Eddie dying, and what's going on with the love triangle between Nancy and Steve and Jonathan and all that. I was more interested in what was going on elsewhere in the show. I kind of stopped caring about 11. So I see the ending, and like when she disappeared, like and apparently like when the upside down collapsing with all those like pregnant women in there. We hope that they got out. They don't specify, but
Yeah, what happened? How they? That would have been an interesting sight to see all those pregnant women just coming through that same portal.
uh, yeah, I know. But that's just another like it's irresponsible writing, right? It's just one of those like major plot holes that they just forgot to fill in. So
I don't think they made it, Josh. I really don't think they made it.
yeah, and I'm thinking that too. Like, that sucks, man. But
All
uh,
those pregnant women.
yeah.
Huh.
But I mean, I'm impartial. Like, I could, if she died in that scene, it would not matter to me. If she lived to see those waterfalls, it wouldn't matter to me either. Like, I like the idea that they set Mike up to be a writer, and I'm feeling that was inspired by Stephen King. But it was what it was, man. Like, I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it.
Well, there you go. Our thoughts on Stranger Things season 5. If you have thoughts out there on season 5, let us know your thoughts. JSJ in the chat has been very good about sharing his thoughts. He said almost the entire cast are off to something better. You hope that they are, because they're all trying to cash in on it now. Check back in 3 or 4 years where this cast is and if they can still find success in the entertainment business. Because as Josh and I have seen, we've seen a lot of these people that come off of these great shows and they get some buzz and they get some stuff. Taylor Lautner, anyone that can just, continue on, and then they start their performances or their success starts dwindling because the attention moves away from it. It just doesn't quite click for them anymore. So let us know your thoughts on the last season of Stranger Things, Pop Culture Cosmos at yahoo.com. But my friend, before we head on out, wanted to go ahead and ask you the MCU review. Before I hit up I'll fill up the rest of the time and the rest of the show on my stuff as far as the best and worst of this past year. But go ahead and hit us up with the MCU review before we head into that, my friend.
Oh my gosh, man. I think we were at, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a minute.
Yes, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. I can tell you that. But yeah, continuing on with the MCU as MCU.
Yeah, we're at we already talked about Punisher Warzone. So we're at X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this one was, I mean, I watch it and I don't hate it, right? Like I like the origin story of Wolverine. I really wish though that they would have just kept to the comic books. Like stick to the comic books. This was a patchwork movie. And it also, oh, it was that same one. Remember that guy leaked it from the studio and everyone was watching this version that didn't have the the computer, the CGI scenes added in yet. So it was just like it switched to like a what do you call it? Like a dummy program that shows like what happens to the characters. But you know, I don't know. I didn't hate it. I don't think it's great. Like like you had that. See, that's the thing with a lot of these like non MCU movies, even some of the MCU ones though. Like you have a formula, you have an instruction manual on how to make the movie good. You just need to follow it. And a lot of these people don't do that. They'll steal like the names of things, but they won't follow the comic books. I think that's what really irritated me with this one, because the Wolverine Origins comic book is amazing. Like it's a really, really well done comic book, but they just decided not to do it for this one.
I liked it. I liked the premise of it, you know, where they were at, the locale, but like you said, the execution and how it ended up was the problem for me, as far as where they did it, how they did it, how it ended up was the actual problem for me on it. And I just wish they had paid more attention to it. And you know, it's great. It's great to see Hugh Jackman anytime he's in that Wolverine costume, because anytime in the Wolverine, even in the worst X-Men movies, Josh, even in the worst ones, he is the shining light of these films. You cannot deny it. Even when he phones it in Wolverine costume, it is still good. It's still very good. The problem is what's around him, because I think a lot of times Marvel in that days, or that case Fox, rested their laurels on him just carrying an entire movie without putting a good story around him to get it done.
Yeah. You know, I will say one of the highlights for this movie though was Taylor Kitsch's Gambit. Like I thought
agreed.
I thought Channing Tatum was a okay Gambit, but like I think that Taylor Kitsch was a better Gambit. And
I agree. Yeah. Although people are going to like Channing Tatum because of his sense of humor and whatnot, but I like Taylor. And that's the thing. You and I, okay, if we live to 100, one day we'll go back and say, okay, on this episode of the Pop Culture Cosmos, we'll look at the missed opportunity that was Taylor Kitsch as a movie star.
Gosh, I know, man.
Yeah, exactly. Because again, you know, I feel if I see him, I'm just gonna shake his hand and say, "I'm sorry, you were given a raw deal, man. I'm sorry you're given a raw deal."
He's a good even in the movies that like flopped, he was a good actor in them. He was just given a really bad scripts time after time after time. Like they were trying to set him up to be the
next guy, the next
guy, the next action hero. But like everything he was in, it was not his fault. It was the fault of the writing. Like it was just bad.
Yeah, and again, it's just a shame what happened with him and all the promise that he had as someone who could have been that next superstar we could have been talking about, but wasn't meant to be, my friend. But again, Wolverine, for me, I didn't think it was so bad because it had a lot of what I like to see in Hugh Jackman. But again, surrounding it was part of the problem for me. Where do we go next on your MCU review, my friend, as we continue on towards Avengers Doomsday?
So we're going on to Captain America, the First Avenger.
One of my faves. I know that gets a lot of people like, huh, you like that one? I'll explain more why. when we go into it on our next MCU review. Indeed.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah, indeed. But the last 20 minutes, I thought I would go ahead and give you my list, my friend. I've been telling it up all year long, whether people like it or not. So I will tally it all year long. So I've got that up as far as my best and worst of pop culture here for the year 2025. Let's start with the best of pop culture, my friend. And I'm going to go from the bottom up. And that bottom means just stuff I really like that I had on this list, regardless. So I'm hoping that you will go ahead and enjoy this list as well. And tell me your thoughts in the chat, or tell me your thoughts in the comments about it. But I'm going to start from the bottom of my list. Invincible season 3. Thought it was really solid year, and again, still provided really good entertainment for me and a really good story. I know that they're starting to run into some themes that are getting a little bit overplayed, that they need to branch out a little bit more on. But Invincible season 3 still provided me some great entertainment, my friend. Did you see Invincible season 3?
Invincible is a show that I've been meaning to catch up on. I just haven't. Like, I watched the first season and I thought it was great. I fell out of it and haven't gotten back to it yet. Just kind of like The Boys for me.
What's coming up next after that is a show I know you did catch, because we talked about it on several occasions over the course of last year, and that was Alien Earth. I thought that was a great representation of Alien, the IP, and one of the best representations of the IP since Aliens itself, my friend. Your thoughts on Alien Earth?
It's so funny. I completely forgot to add that one to my list. Yeah, I thought Alien Earth was a fantastic movie, and I know we've talked about this before. Series, sorry. When Disney took over these movies, they moved away from like the trying to shock people and like fan service, and they started to actually tell stories. And I see now that this is a perfect example of what you get when you actually like take a series and try to move it along a solid narrative structure, I guess you'd call it. And I think Alien Earth really like hit the nail on the head. I'm not going to say it's the perfect show, but it's pretty darn near perfect for what it was.
I thought it was really solid. Again, I thought there was some really good stuff in it that got me interested. I'm not the biggest fan of the Alien franchise, but for me, it is the best representation of Alien since Aliens itself. I loved Alien, loved Aliens.
Yeah.
Went off a cliff for me. I'm sorry. It lost me, as I've told Josh before. And Josh, while he stayed a tried and true fan of the Alien franchise, I have went off that train a long time ago. Alien Earth has brought me back, and we'll see where it goes from there, my friend.
Yeah.
Next on the list is The Mighty Nine. I don't know if you caught this, but it's been in recent weeks one of the more popular shows on Amazon Prime. It is from the makers of Critical Role. It's their second successful animated series. I believe it's just about wrapping up its first season. Hope you get a chance to check it out. If you're into the fantasy world, does have it's a mature rated animated series, but The Mighty Nine is to me the second successful series as far as a animated series is concerned. And watch out, now that they have some of the rights to Dispatch, they could be developing that into a TV series as well. And I'd say it's in good hands after watching The Mighty Nine.
Yeah, Big Dog was actually telling me about this one, and I have not had a chance to sit down and watch it yet, but he had nothing but great things to say about it. And he's a tough critic too, so I will definitely be checking this one out.
Then, okay, I want to say on this show that I don't know if Josh always believes me when I say that when Josh suggests something, I actually do follow up on it. Josh, this year you had praise for Predator Killer of Killers, and I watched it off of your recommendation, and your recommendation paid off, because I thought that is also the best Predator representation. Sorry, Predator Badlands. But Predator Killer of Killers is the best of these new Predator things that have happened, Prey and Predator Badlands. I think Predator Killer of Killers is the best representation of Predator since Predator. Predator 2 was great for the ears, but really not that great of a movie when I could look back on it. But I enjoyed it for the auditory reasons. But Predator really was great for me as an experience in the theaters. And Predator Killer Killers brought me back to that because I've seen nothing but bad Predator ever since. I have been subjected to bad Predator films ever since. And I'm so glad I got to see this film based off your recommendation. I was very trepidatious in going into it, but coming out of it, I was really excited for the future of Predator.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, like this is just one of those series, right, where they show you like what happens when you actually care about what the content matter. And I think that I'm hoping that there's a trend that continues forward, because like if the Alien Predator franchise, I don't know about you, but like to me they felt like they needed to die. Like they had reached a point where the story could not go forward any farther, or the studio just didn't want to tell the story that would, and there was not any point in even watching them anymore.
Up next for me is Titan. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was incorrect on that. It comes to my Marvel time for JSJ out there. If you look at my Marvel list of my entire MCU list, that's on popculturecosmos.wordpress.com. I have Fantastic Four in a certain spot, just outside the top 10. And right after it, it's Thunderbolts and the New Avengers, whatever you want to call it. Thunderbolts / New Avengers, whatever you want to say. That could change in the course of years because the way I feel about one and the way I feel about others seems to change from week to week. But as of now, Josh, Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts New Avengers are right after each other on my list, right outside the top 10. I think they're like 11th and 12th or 12th and 13th, something like that. Both were very good films. Both I enjoyed a lot. Both I think are solid. That sets up a future. The problem is, will anybody want to watch those characters that emanate from both of these films, Josh?
Yeah, I mean that really is the question here, right? Is that we're looking at a space now where they're having to bring back old characters because they can't get anybody to be fascinated enough in these newer characters. So what is this going to mean once Secret Wars and Doomsday are over? Are people going to want to go catch more Thunderbolts? Are they going to watch more Fantastic Four? Are they going to give a hoot about the new Captain America Falcon team up? Like what is going to happen? What's next? Like because they've tried it and it hasn't worked.
No, but we will see what happens. I really liked them, Josh, because the thing is, we were asking for good movies coming out of. I was so disappointed in Captain America: Brave New World, which we'll be talking about here in a minute. Captain America: Brave New World, and I was worried about the next two films on the line after that, but the next two films were good films, well-made films. Just nobody wanted to go ahead and see them, which has had me very concerned. Had you very concerned about the future of Marvel after those two films that were critically reviewed well, did not do well at the box office?
Yeah. I mean, this is the first year in a while that we haven't seen a Marvel movie cross $1 billion. Like that's crazy.
That is crazy indeed. So we'll see what happens with the Marvel Universe. Hopefully this year will be a lot better year for the Marvel Universe, starting later this month with Wonder Man on Disney Plus, which a lot of people are kind of digging the vibe on that. So if you have thoughts on the Marvel Universe, please let us know your thoughts. Popculturecosmos at yahoo.com. But before heading out, I'm still continuing on with my best of pop culture for 2025. Josh, I don't know if you caught this, but the I believe it's on Netflix. Titan, the Ocean Gate disaster, is the best documentary I saw of last year. And it details the greed, it details all the mistakes that were made, all the carelessness. It details corruption. It really gets to the heart of what happened with the Ocean Gate disaster, my friend. Your thoughts? Did you get a chance to see it on Netflix?
I didn't actually know that it was there was a documentary out there about it. So I'd actually I read a lot. I'm super fascinated by this. So I've been reading a lot about it, or I've read a lot about it, and I watched was that Disney Explorer, right? Josh Gates. I guess he was supposed to be on that sub, and he just had like a bad feeling that night, and he backed out of it. Like there's been a lot of stories and perspectives that I've tried to stay current with, but yeah, I mean, I didn't even know this was a thing, so I'll have to watch it.
Absolutely. So there you have it. The best documentary I saw this year was Titan, the Ocean Gate disaster. If you want to know in detail about it, yeah, go ahead and check it out. I believe it is on Netflix. Next on my list, wanted to go ahead and mention was Love, Death, and Robots Season 4. I love that series, the anthology. I think it really clicks well. I was worried coming off, I believe, because one of the creators, or at least the creators of it, did Secret Level, which was atrocious in more ways than one. I was really concerned going to season 4, but I actually liked what I saw from Love, Death, and Robots Season 4 on Netflix.
That's one I have not watched yet. I'm scrolling through Netflix. I'm like, oh, I should probably watch that sometime. I just never do for some reason.
I would highly recommend it because it is very interesting as an anthology series. So hopefully you guys out there can go ahead and check out Love, Death, and Robots Season 4. My next one is Andor Season 2. Andor Season 2, absolutely fantastic. Stellan Skarsgård, everybody else in the cast just truly did amazing. It is Star Wars at its very finest. It is the best Star Wars. I know I've done this already before in this episode, but it is the best Star Wars since Empire Strikes Back. And I'll leave it at that.
Nice. Okay. All right. You spoke very highly of this show, and I told you once I can pick up the courage to get back into Star Wars, then I will watch it. So I'm hoping maybe sometime soon.
Next is Black Mirror Season 7, especially the Paul Giamatti episode. I really think people need to go ahead and check that out indeed on Netflix. So go ahead and check out that anthology as well. For the video game world, I wanted to go ahead and give some love to Avowed. While it will never earn the praise that Claire Obscure Expedition 33 gets, Avowed had by far and away the best gameplay of any game last year. Any game. I will put up that gameplay against any game. I can't put up the story because I don't remember the story. That's how forgettable it was. And the enjoyability of the gameplay. I played that over 75 hours, Josh, and I
remember. Yeah.
I have just eternal praise for Obsidian. Obsidian was the studio of the year last year, and Avowed is the secret jewel of those 3 releases that they made. And again, the gameplay for Avowed is unrivaled in 2025. Cobra Kai Season 7 Part 3, or actually just Season 7 in general, how it finished up. I wanted to go ahead and give some love to it. Yes, it's corny. Yes, it's cheesy, but that's why I enjoyed it. Unlike Stranger Things, I think it ended up on a much better note for that series. I do want to mention also as well Demon Slayer Infinity Castle. You and I got a chance to see it. Absolutely big praise for it, my friend. I wanted to go ahead and mention the best video game for me of 2025 is Dispatch. I think the story, it just beats Claire Obscure hands down. I think Claire Obscure, I've watched the entire story. It's great. It's awesome. It's a really, really riveting story, but the studio, Dispatch beats it hands down. Absolutely, my friend.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I hadn't even heard anything about this game until you had spoken so fondly of it. So it's on my list right now. It's on my list. 2026 has started, so and nothing new has come out yet. So I might sit down and maybe play in the next couple weeks.
And if you are not an Apple TV Plus subscriber, you need to become one, because the next 3 on my list are The Studio, Severance Season 2, and Pluribus. Pluribus had an exceptional Season 1. Not quite Severance Season 1, but almost for me. Severance Season 2 backed up a very outstanding Season 1. And The Studio, in its first season, also had an outstanding first season. So yes, The Studio, Pluribus, which is Apple TV's biggest show ever, and Severance Season 2, which obviously continues the great success, which was the biggest TV show ever on Apple until Pluribus beat it. So go ahead and check out those on Apple TV Plus. Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered, you and I enjoyed. That's just fantastic. I played already 100 hours plus of that game, and this refreshes it in a way I never thought could be possible. But the best of pop culture, I would have to be remiss if I didn't say it. It's the movie that took over the entire planet, K-pop Demon Hunters, my friend.
Oh, yeah, it's a good. I mean, I still haven't watched it, but I think it's worthy of its laurels.
Yes, it is. It is. It is a well-made movie musical. It's one of the best musicals I've ever seen. Although, again, South Park is still my fave. Bigger, longer, uncut. But this was a tremendous performance with K-pop Demon Hunters as my number one best of pop culture for 2025. So with the best comes the worst, my friend, of pop culture for 2025. I'm going to start off with the biggest failure in video games was Mind's Eye, from one of the creators of Grand Theft Auto. Very, very instrumental in the development of GTA. Tried to put that into a different mindset, and from the weird looking graphics for the people to the shallow world that it created and the terrible gameplay, Mind's Eye was terrible. Captain America Brave New World was something that every time I think about it, or every time I try to watch it, it gets even worse for me. So it went from a 5 to a 6. It's now going, it's just absolutely just terrible. Absolutely just really one of the bottom barrel of Marvel films. Just take a look at my list on popculturecosmos.wordpress.com, and it'll tell you. F1 story. I told you I would put F1 in this because F1, the movie itself as an experience, audio and visual experience, was unmatched for 2025. And then you had to watch the film, unfortunately, as far as the story is concerned, which you and I went off on a couple weeks ago as totally, totally absurd and unreal.
Yeah, yeah, yep. I agree, man.
All right, here goes my last three. And these three are going to be really stingers because I got to see the worst horror movie I have seen this century in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. All apologies to my daughter, who I went with to go see this. FNAF 2 was terrible, and a new means of terrible, and a new way of being terrible. The Naked Gun I watched the other day on Prime Video. That was terrible. That just totally disgraces everything that Leslie Nielsen was all about, and the Zuckers, what they did. I don't know if you guys enjoyed it. I don't know how you guys enjoyed it because it tried to do what had been done before, and it failed miserably. It is that bad to me. It was absolutely terrible. I don't know how it made money at the box office personally. And
Yeah.
the worst bit of pop culture, Josh, was War of the Worlds on Amazon. I cannot tell you how bad this is. I thought at one time, and I said on the show, I think it was to TJ, that it was the worst bit of pop culture I have experienced in this century. And then I remembered The Room came out in 2003. Because for some reason thought it came out in 1998 or 99. No, it came out. The Room is technically worse, Josh, but it is like so bad it's funny. The Room is. And they made The Disaster Artist, which was a really good film out from that. So I'm probably going to have to move War of the Worlds in that first place for me, because War of the Worlds is absolutely just mind-numbingly terrible. And if you have a worst enemy in your life, Josh, make sure you go ahead and recommend that film to him. And I'll leave it at that.
Okay, all right, I will.
Before we head on out, my friend, I've got one last thing of worst of pop culture for 2025, and that's to broadcast and cable television shows. You guys suck. It gets to get worse and worse. With the advent of streaming, Landman, Heated Rivalry, Stranger Things, Pluribus, all these shows that we're seeing even now. Then you go back to Severance, HBO, The Pit. All these other shows, all the great shows people are talking about are on streaming. Yes, I understand their boundaries are a little bit different, and they're able to go ahead and extend to what they can't do on broadcasting cable. But broadcasting cable, get your act together, because what you're putting out there, that slop you've been putting out there, the formulaic shows you've been putting out there for years, absolutely suck. And I'll just leave it at that. And you guys got to get your act together. in order to go ahead and compete with the streaming marketplace.
This
Josh?
is real, man. I mean, we're at a time when people like the streaming servers are so expensive, people might cut the cords they've already cut or tape the cord again, and go back to what it was before.
Well, that's it, my friend. That's my list of the best and worst of pop culture for this past year. Any last thoughts before we head on out?
No, that was a good list, man. I think we covered everything I could think of for today.
So hopefully I'll be able to provide a update for you guys on my thoughts on CES, the Consumer Electronics Show for this year, coming up on the Friday show, the PC Multiverse. And next week, Josh and I go ahead and share our thoughts on the most anticipated things in pop culture for 2026. So for Josh the Great Peterson, this is Gerald Glassford. It's another beautiful day in paradise right here in the Pop Culture Cosmos. We thank you for listening. And here's hoping you have yourself a great day.
Welcome to the Pop Culture Cosmos.